Coming up on Tech Tonight, royalty has arrived in New York City.
And protests are happening all over the country. Find out the details next. Welcome to Tech Tonight. I'm Bailey Engel.
And I'm Rachel Van Meter. After several months of investigation, 5 people have been arrested for a meth manufacturing ring. Virginia State Police performed search warrants simultaneously at 8 a.m. last Wednesday in 3 homes in Pulaski and at the Meijing Hotel. Evidence was found of a conspiracy to manufacture meth in those places. Sammy David Gregory, Martha Gay Gregory, Kenneth Gravy, Lisa Marie Henley, and Brian Henley are charged with conspiracy to manufacture meth and are being held without bond at the New River Regional Jail.
Bad news came out of Yemen Sunday when a failed Navy SEAL raid on Al-Qaeda ended in the deaths of 2 hostages. The raid was an attempted surprise attack to free American photographer Luke Summers and South African teacher Pierre Corky. A defense official confirmed that the mission's element of surprise was breached when the SEALs were spotted about 100 meters outside of the compound. This was the second attempt to rescue these hostages in 2 weeks. President Obama authorized the raid after a video of Summers was released by Al-Qaeda last week. Corky had been in captivity since May.
On December 2nd, D2 sponsored a gingerbread house competition. Megan Gray was there for the story.
Hi, I'm Megan Gray, reporting for Tech Tonight, and I'm inside Dietrich Dining Hall for the Gingerbread House Decorating Competition. The Gingerbread event is a yearly decorating contest put on by Dietrich Dining Hall. Hokies of all ages came out to decorate and celebrate the holidays.
The purpose is to gather all the students in a beautiful community type of setting where everybody can get together, enjoy each other's company, have a great time, and just celebrate the holidays. But I usually bring a special guest along and let them do the construction for me.
I've been doing this for 4 years, and it's very fun.
I just kind of felt it out when we got here, saw what ingredients we had, and tried to make it unique, structurally.
Be sure to cast your vote for your favorite gingerbread house by Tuesday of next week before the holiday dinner. I'm Megan Gray, reporting for Tech Tonight.
Thank you, Megan. 6 prisoners held for 12 years at Guantanamo Bay have arrived as refugees in Uruguay amid a renewed push by President Barack Obama to close the prison. The 6 men are composed of 4 Syrians, a Tunisian, a Palestinian, and were detained as suspect militants with ties to Al-Qaeda in 2002, but were never charged. The men had been cleared for release since 2009, but could not be sent home, and the U.S. had issues to find countries willing to take them. Uruguayan President Jose Mujica agreed to take them as men as a humanitarian gesture and would help them get established in a country of 3.3 million with a total Muslim population of about 300. The U.S. currently holds 67 men at Guantanamo who have been cleared for release but can't go home because they might face persecution or lack of security.
On December 4th, students at Virginia Tech silently protested the Michael Brown and Eric Garner deaths. Rachel Thompson was there for the story.
With protests for Michael Brown and Eric Garner occurring all over the world, students at Virginia Tech organized one of their own. The Coalition for Justice and the VTNAACP partnered up to lead the rally.
Hi, I'm here at Squires Student Center where protesters recently finished lying down in protest of the non-indictment announcement of Officer Darren Wilson and Officer Daniel Pantaleo in the shootings of Michael Brown and the chokehold death of Eric Garner.
Displaying their opinions on signs and through their body language, over 100 students, faculty members, and Blacksburg residents participated in a die-in Thursday night.
I walk in and there's all these people lined up on the floor and everyone's dying, and I'm like, okay, there's no place for me to die here. Where do I go? So people are like, let's go to the second floor. So then everyone laid down and I died.
One student described what it was like to lie on the floor for 4.5 minutes.
The whole time I was just thinking about how it must have felt to be Eric Garner or Mike Brown lying in the street, and I don't know. It just felt right, and I felt like I was doing the right thing. And I wanted people to see, I wanted people to understand what it's like, I don't think people understand what it's like just to be even African American, Black in America.
The rally will continue until participants feel change has occurred. Reporting for VTTV, I'm Rachel Thompson.
Thank you, Rachel. Protests have erupted across the United States after a grand jury chose to not indict the officer that put Eric Garner in a fatal chokehold. An officer approached Garner on July 17th in Staten Island after being accused of selling unpackaged cigarettes. Another officer then put Garner in a chokehold after they deemed him to be unruly. Garner, weighing nearly 400 pounds, went down and said, "I can't breathe," 11 times. He was pronounced dead an hour later. Garner's mother commended protesters' efforts, but encouraged them to do so peacefully. Protesters in New York and Washington staged die-ins at train stations, where participants would lie down on the floor in unison. Attorney General Eric Holder announced that a civil rights investigation will be launched on the case.
On December 7th, Virginia Tech's men's basketball team took on Radford University at Castle Coliseum. Courtney Duke has more on the story.
Hi, this is Courtney Duke for Tech Tonight. I'm outside Castle Coliseum for the Virginia Tech-Radford basketball game. It was a close game between the Hokies and the Highlanders Sunday evening, with Virginia Tech leading by 6 points and only 2 minutes left in the game. Radford managed to score 8 points and win the game by a single shot. The final score was 68-66. The Hokies still played a good game, leading in many statistical categories, including points in the paint, fast break points, and three-pointers. I talked to one of Virginia Tech's littlest fans as she was leaving. So, can you say your name for me?
Trinity.
Trinity? How'd you like the basketball game, Trinity?
I liked it.
What's your favorite part?
The cheerleader.
One cheerleader accidentally fell during performance, but fortunately was unharmed. And of course, the pep band was there to excite both the cheerleaders and the crowd. I talked to 2 members after the game. Do you guys only do basketball games?
No, we're also a part of the Marching Virginians, which does football, but this is the pep band, so you have to try out for both.
Yeah. Gotcha. Anything else you'd like to say?
Go Hokies, yeah!
You heard him. Go Hokies. Thank you.
Yay!
This is Courtney Duke with Tech Tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney. Dr. Ian Crozier contracted Ebola in Sierra Leone while treating Ebola patients in the government hospital in Kinema. He has evacuated to Emory University Hospital in Atlanta, the third American with Ebola to be airlifted from West Africa. He had a long, painful illness with 40 days in the hospital. Dr. Jay Varkey said, quote, "Ian was by far the sickest patient with Ebola virus they've cared for at Emory," end quote. Dr. Crozier signed on with the World Health Organization with expenses only, no pay. By August, he was in Kinema and planned to stay there for about 3 or 4 weeks. Dr. Crozier says there were often 60 to 80 patients from all over the country arriving day and night, but there were more moments of grace where childless parents took care of parentless children. Dr. Crozier hopes to return to West Africa by February to help treat more patients.
On December 7th, the organization Students Helping Honduras put on an event called Bumper Soccer to raise money to build elementary schools in Honduras in the future. Melissa Cisneros has more on the story.
Good evening, I'm Melissa Cisneros at War Memorial Hall, and today we're going to check out Students Helping Honduras sponsor Bumper Soccer. On December 7th, the organization Students Helping Honduras put on an event called Bumper Soccer to raise money to build elementary schools in Honduras in the future. What is Bumper Soccer, you may ask? The participants of the game must wear an inflatable ball worn like a backpack around their bodies, leaving only their feet free to kick the ball and play a game of soccer. One of the participants, Chad Gattuso, told us why he decided to participate in Bumper Soccer this year.
I actually saw a video on YouTube. This guy does a lot of extreme sports and different activities, and it was following a bunch of people doing this, and I thought it looked really, really awesome, and was like, I have to do that, and it happened, so didn't think it would.
Before the players can even play the game, they must sign a release form and understand the rules of the game, such as not bumping into someone from behind and only bumping into people who have the ball or going for the ball. Kyle Carter, the coordinator of Bumper Soccer, tells us more about where the idea of Bumper Soccer came from and why he decided to combine it with the organization of Students Helping Honduras.
We got the idea, or I got the idea from a YouTube video. They played this somewhere in, I think, Italy. And It was one of those videos that went viral on Facebook, and I was like, let's bring it to tech.
Students Helping Honduras will be having another bumper soccer in the spring in order to finish building the elementary school in Honduras. How did you decide to work with Students Helping Honduras?
Well, I joined Students Helping Honduras my senior year here, and it's an incredible organization. I'm very, very impressed with them. I'm going on their trip in the winter. And so I was like, when it was the club I was most concentrated on last year.
Co-President Sarah Nguyen and Julia Soleri talk about Students Helping Honduras' goal and the fundraiser.
And one of our main goals is supporting education in Honduras, and the main reason of that is because violence and gangs are very prevalent there, so getting the kids out of the street and into the schools really gives them a lot of opportunities for advancement.
And can you tell me about the fundraiser?
Yeah, so this is bumper soccer, which Kyle Gorder organized for us. He graduated last semester. In this fundraiser, we actually, all the money that we're raising this semester is going to pay off the balls, and in the future we're going to use it to raise money for elementary schools that we build.
Bumper Soccer profited about $3,000 from the event. Melissa Cisneros, War Memorial, Tech Tonight.
Thank you, Melissa. Bedford County teen Brianna Hedrick has been missing since November 20th. Hedrick was last seen near Lake Vista in Bedford County. The 14-year-old is reported to be about 5 feet tall with brown hair and blue eyes. Bedford County Sheriff reported Hedrick to be missing for the first time Sunday, even though she has not been seen for nearly 2 weeks. The Sheriff's Office is taking calls for anyone who knows about Hedrick's whereabouts.
Prince William and Princess Kate arrived in New York City this past Sunday. The couple's first visit to the U.S. and first experience in the Big Apple. The Carlisle Hotel was a favorite of William's mother, the late Princess Diana, during her frequent visits to Manhattan in the 1990s. The royal couple had a full schedule of events in New York, including a visit to the National September 11th Memorial, museums, and basketball games, including Brooklyn Nets and Cleveland Cavaliers. William met President Barack Obama at the White House on Monday while visiting Washington, attending a World Bank conference. At the conference, he spoke about combating illegal trade in wildlife parks. Kate toured a New York Child Development Center with the city's First Lady, Chirlane McCray.
A scary moment in Chicago where dozens of costume-clad people were forced to evacuate a building after an apparent gassing. 19 people were hospitalized after a chlorine gas leak spread throughout the Midwest Fur Fest convention at a Hyatt near Chicago. Police have deemed the gas leak as intentional. Convention attendees were forced to stand outside of the hotel until 4 a.m. The event was a gathering of furries who are fans of anthropomorphic animals in arts and literature. Authorities have not yet proved the culprits behind the gassing. Now stay tuned for your entertainment news.
Congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now.
Well, have you tried saving?
Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.com.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Checking your fantasy league? Nah, just my 401k statement.
I can't seem to save anything.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now.
Well, have you tried saving?
Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
That's low, that's low, that's low.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextsstopwrecks.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
I can't seem to save anything.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
That's low. That's low. That's low.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextstoprex.org.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Do your part. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hi, I'm Erin Miller.
And I'm Carly Gillespie with your entertainment news.
As if Angelina Jolie being beautiful, smart, and an amazing mother wasn't enough, she now proved to the world how amazing of a director she can be too. Angelina's next big screen project is one that has a lot of people anxious for the movie Unbroken's big Christmas Day release. And people are not only talking about this heavy and moving motion picture, but they are questioning Jolie on whether or not she will let her kids catch a sneak peek. Jolie told E! News this past week, "I think they can handle it because they understand film. They know the difference between what is real and what isn't. But they all knew Louis Zamperini. They want to see it because it's Louis. Jolie has a lot on her plate with 10 children, but she seems to be doing an incredible job as a mother as well as a superstar. Keep up the good work, Angelina."
In an attempt to raise awareness of resource extraction in the Amazon and rainforest worldwide, snake researcher Paul Rizzoli announced he would be eaten by I almost said eaten green anaconda. I was like, that's not right. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
In an attempt to raise awareness of resource extraction in the Amazon and rainforest worldwide, snake researcher Paul Rizzoli announced he would be eaten alive by a giant green anaconda, the largest and most powerful snake in the world. In a Discovery Channel special, Eaten Alive, Rizzoli went on a 60-day expedition in the Amazon in search of the snake that would eat him. It took specialists 18 months to create the high-tech carbon fiber suit Rizzoli would wear when being eaten by the 20-foot anaconda. However, the TV special, which should be more appropriately named Almost Eaten Alive, did not live up to media hype it received. For after the snake coiled around Rizzoli and began to eat his helmet, he had to call in his rescue team to save him because of the extreme pressure that almost snapped his bones.
Sometimes I feel bad for celebrities. Yes, they live these glamorous lives, but every move they make and every change in their lives is captured by fans and paparazzi. This week, I want to talk about Miranda Lambert. The woman is incredibly beautiful, incredibly successful, and incredibly happy in her marriage with Blake Shelton. Yet the media cannot seem to stop focusing on her fluctuating weight. The 31-year-old singer opened up to Marie Claire magazine about how she feels about always being criticized, and the truth is that she has become very insecure. She admits that she may have some issues with her body, but she is working on being more confident as she enters her 30s. She wants all women to feel beautiful regardless of their weight, and I think that is inspiring. Miranda Lambert shows us all that just because someone is a celebrity does not mean that they do not deal with normal human emotions.
On December 9th, the people of the New River Valley area were in for a holiday treat. The famous Moscow Ballet Dance Company performed the Great Russian Nutcracker in Virginia Tech's own Burris Hall. For the past 20 years, the company of 40 male and female dancers traveled to 70 different cities across North America, performing beautiful renditions of classic ballet. The show, presented by the Virginia Tech Union, was open to students, faculty, and the general public. For the past 3 years, the Moscow Ballet has come to Virginia Tech to perform, and it was their second time performing the breathtaking holiday classic, The Great Russian Nutcracker in Burris Hall.
Today, I not only want to focus on celebrities and their exciting lives, but the exciting lives of students here at Virginia Tech as well. With the winter coming right around the corner, I want to talk about some ways to keep warm while walking across the drill field and still looking fashionable. It seems to me that big puffy parka jackets are in this year, and I know exactly why. They fit perfectly over longer sweaters and keep your whole body warm all the way down to your boots. I hope Santa is getting me one of these jackets for Christmas this year. Next, let's talk about headbands. We see celebrities wearing little earmuffs all the time to keep their heads warm, and I think that if you can pull them off without looking silly, then go for it. Nothing is worse than frozen ears when you have to walk from Turner to Lytton Reeves. Even though it's almost winter break, make sure to bundle up with these tips to avoid getting sick before finals.
Backstreet's back, all right. The forever-loved boy band recently announced that they will be releasing a documentary January 30th, 2015, in theaters and on demand. The documentary, Backstreet Boys Show 'Em What You're Made Of, took 2 years to film. The movie follows the lives of band members Nick Carter, Brian Luttrell, AJ McLean, Kevin Richardson, and Howie Dorough as they share what their lives are like today. Backstreet Boys rose to fame back in 1996 and soon after became one of the top-selling boy bands in history, selling over 130 million records. In addition to the documentary, the group has released world tour dates for their recent album, In a World Like This. Stay tuned for your sports news.
Do your part. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food.
Checking your fantasy league? Nah, just my 401k statement.
I can't seem to save anything.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
That's low, that's low, that's low.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextsstopwrecks.org.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
I can't seem to save anything.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
I can't seem to save anything.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
That's low, that's low, that's low.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextsstopwrecks.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt. There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now.
Well, have you tried saving?
Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hi, I'm Lexi Johnson.
And I'm Andrew Oja with your sports report.
Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson was a key player Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles when he threw 2 touchdown passes and ran for another. Philadelphia, who was undefeated at home, is known for their strong offense, while the Seahawks are known for their dominant defense. A costly fumble by LaShawn McCoy allowed for a 15-yard touchdown by Marshawn Lynch that changed the game. Sadly, Philadelphia's 10-game winning streak came to an end as the Seahawks took home the win at 24-14.
Doctors for Kansas City Chiefs safety Eric Berry have confirmed that he has been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, a form of cancer. On November 20th, after a game against the Oakland Raiders, Berry complained of chest discomfort. The following morning, after an x-ray of his chest came back negative, Chiefs athletic trainer Rick Buckholder gave Berry an MRI which revealed a mass in his chest. Berry will undergo treatment at Emory University Hospital in Atlanta, the city where he was raised and still has a strong support system. In a statement released through the Chiefs, Dr. Christopher Flowers, a lymphoma specialist at Emory, said this is a diagnosis that is very treatable and potentially curable with standard chemotherapy approaches. Berry has been placed on the season-ending non-football injured list, but has vowed that after treatment he will return to play for the Chiefs once again.
On Saturday, the Ohio State Buckeyes annihilated Wisconsin at a 59-0 win in the Big Ten Championship. Now, Ohio State ranks number 4 and will face Alabama, who holds the number 1 ranking in the All-State Sugar Bowl, while Oregon, number 2, and Florida State at number 3 will face off in the Rose Bowl. Both of the highly anticipated games will take place on New Year's Day, kicking off at 5 p.m.
The Virginia Tech Hokies will limp into the bowl season with a 6-6 record after becoming bowl eligible in the final week of the regular season with their rivalry win over University of Virginia. The Hokies have been placed in the ever-so-prestigious Military Bowl presented by Northrop Grumman, where they will face off against the Cincinnati Bearcats on December 27th in Annapolis, Maryland. Cincinnati, who is 9-3 on the season, is currently riding a 7-game winning streak and hasn't lost since an October 11th matchup down in Miami. The Bearcats earned a share of the American Athletic Conference Championship with their wins last Saturday over Houston. For the Hokies, head coach Frank Beamer is expected to be on the sidelines despite having just undergone throat surgery. Beamer, who has his fair share of critics, is 68 and will be coaching in his 22nd consecutive bowl game for the Hokies. The longest tenured coach in college football may find himself on the hot seat if he and his Hokies can't find a way to win this one.
Earlier today, around 12:30 p.m., Carolina Panthers quarterback Cam Newton was involved in a 2-car collision, according to Charlotte Police Department. He currently is undergoing tests at the Carolina Medical Center. Cam left the scene of the accident conscious with a few scrapes and bruises. It appears that he is in fair condition, nothing life-threatening. An eyewitness reported that Newton's truck rolled maybe 3 or 4 times. Newton will be held overnight for further observation.
Kevin Klein, a defenseman for the New York Rangers, proved the other night why hockey players are some of the toughest athletes alive. Early in the first period of Monday night's game against the Pittsburgh Penguins, Klein was hit on the side of the head by a high stick that literally ripped off part of his ear. Instead of calling it a day and going to the hospital like any normal human being would do, Klein went back into the locker room, had the training staff sew his ear back on, and then returned to the ice. With the game tied at 3 in overtime, Klein then blasted a slap shot from the blue line that found the back of the net to win the game for the Rangers. The overtime goal was the first of his career and capped off a wild night for the veteran defenseman.
Alrighty, so back to the college football playoffs. How do you feel about it?
I am definitely going to be pulling for FSU this time of year. I want to see them finish off the undefeated season and see the ACC win another national championship. But overall, I really just want to see some good football. But yeah, what about you?
Absolutely. I think I'm pulling for Ohio State, seeing as that Tech is the only team that's beat them this season. I would really like to see them get the win.
That'd be cool. That'd be a really big win for the program.
Absolutely.
Well, that's all for Tech Tonight. I'm Andrew Roja.
And I'm Lexi Johnson. Tune in next semester. Happy holidays.
Thanks.